Hi guys, welcome back to another quick card pull. This is being filmed on Sunday, April 12th, 2026. Today we're pulling from the Beauty of Horror tarot cards. So this deck has been called last week to pull from, but with the high holidays and everything, they're showing a decision. So we are in the waning crescent right now. I feel like you will know what to do here. I don't feel like it's going to be a decision. I just feel like it's like either cut your losses or do this. You know what I mean? I feel like at the end, it's your decision. I feel like this is like with a move. I feel like you will choose to stay where you are. You know what I mean? It's just because of the energy and what it's regarding, and it's like bad juju. You know what I mean? And it's like nobody wants to, you know what I mean? Like, you're starting this brand new beginning. We're showing the Ace of Pentacles, so something being offered to you, a mountain to climb and stuff like that. So I feel like in that way, I feel like it'll be a lot to clean, kind of like a retrograde energy. I know that the energy is shifted in that regard, but it's kind of like that, where it's like you enter a situation and it's not what you thought it would be. You know what I mean? Like things don't, like, because of what the reason of it. You know what I mean? So it's like an eviction or something like that, and you move in. It's like someone had lost their home for you to gain a home. You know what I mean? So I feel like in that kind of regard, it's just like, ugh, like I don't want it. It's different if someone moves on because it's like, they got something better. That's different. But if it's an eviction, it's something different. I understand your family will benefit from it, but there's going to be a lot of negative stigmatism, energy, and I feel like just things not going your way. So it will feel like an endless retrograde. So you know what I mean? It's not, they're saying not entering in good faith. You know what I mean? Because you know why you got the place. You know what I mean? With no harm to none, including yourself. It's like there's a reason why we say those words. The power of the tongue. I don't know if a lot of you are like this. Maybe my 80s babies are like this, but it's like, I don't know if I'm pre or in menopause, but it's like certain, like, I know this only started when I got that cold. And it was just like up at certain times. So I don't know if my body got used to it or something. Last night was an allergy attack. So Shabbat finished, started posting. I'm like, I wanted to wash the floors on Friday. It didn't happen. I'm like, you know what? Here's a great opportunity to do it. I was like, go ahead, and I was like to the kids, I'm like, does anyone plan on going to the kitchen? Like, they cook their own foods and stuff like that, and they're like, no. I was like, okay, I'm gonna start washing the floors. So I did the kitchen first, moved everything out of there, moved it all out of the way, gave it a good sweep, mopped it twice, and then our kitchen floor connects to the foyer, to the front entrance. So I was like, let that dry for a good amount and then go ahead. But they weren't coming downstairs. So I was like, okay, started moving all that. So, all the mats from the winter, and I usually go outside and bang them against the porch, you know what I mean, to get rid of the extra dust. But it was really late at night, and I'm like, I don't want to, you know what I mean, people, whoa, what the heck is this crazy lady doing, because I feed the crows and stuff. They don't like the crows, the squirrels, they don't like it, the blue jays, because they're like, oh, they poop or whatever, and I'm like, you're specifically the birds that I feed are the only ones that poop on your cars and stuff like that. Like, completely delulu. This is the one that spray paints his lawn, like painting the roses red, or it's off with your head kind of thing. But it's like something that is keeping you up, and it's not because of worry or anything. It's just at that certain time. And for me, I'm like, okay, maybe I should still, like, Spirit had said, like, maybe get up and, there's other tasks, like little, chores around the house. It's like, maybe get up and do that, and then you'll be tired enough and go back to sleep. So I'll see if I can go back to sleep, naturally, like if I'm just tossing and turning the whole time. If I can't, then I'll get up and do something, you know what I mean, like something on my to-do list, so that way I could sleep in and not worry like, oh, this should have been done, but I slept in and didn't get it finished. So kind of like utilizing the hours a little bit better. I feel like it will, because they're showing the star card, a time of rest and rejuvenation. For us, like with the garden, like there's the cutting the grass and stuff like that, but it's like I'll probably do a flower garden. I'll be like 100%. I love planting flowers and the seedlings and watching them bloom, and then I also like cutting them down and making vases in the house. Like I just the energy, bringing the Mother Nature in the house. Like my house is full of plants, so kind of the same thing, bringing that beautiful energy into where you are. I feel like there will be some knowledge regarding this too. So it may come across your For You page. Eye of Wisdom is a really good page on TikTok. They usually talk about this, like, you feel this, or this is going on. You know what I mean? Like, I was watching Will last night. I couldn't watch the full video because I was busy doing things, and it was like he was talking about itchy skin. So, you know what I mean? It's just like little things that will catch your interest, pique your interest. And it's just like, you know, there's a reason for that, because there's a message there they want you to hear. Nine of Swords, I feel like some people will be like someone rushing in when not really thinking about how their actions are going to affect others. I definitely have someone in my life that's like that. They kind of do things and then see the consequences later. Like, I definitely used to be like that myself. But I feel like in this way, it's like a rush of truth or a rush of information. You know what I mean? Or someone I feel like is like a gossiper. Like they were saying, remember they were saying last week, do not surround yourself with a gossip circle because it's very toxic. So kind of like where, you know, that person, you know, that had posted that is like, I know before I walked up, they were probably talking about me. So that kind of, you know, I mean, came to my, you know, forefront, and it's like you read things and then it's like all of a sudden it comes back up from the past, because that's something kind of like the way that I see it is I'm the observer, you know, kind of taking, you know, from what Shane does. And it's like, I put it away in my filing cabinet. It's like, there's a reason why that stuck out to me. And then it's like, you know, when we get channel messages from Spirit or channel dates or, you know what I mean, phone numbers or addresses or anything like that, it's like, that's Spirit. It's like, this may not make sense right now, but it'll make sense in the future. So it's just like, okay, put it in my filing cabinet, or I write it in my binder, and it's like, it will make sense later. Like when they tell me dates, okay, write it down, you know, put a question mark. When it happens, I write it underneath and I write Dayenu, because they didn't have to give me that heads up like this is coming in. So that's what I feel like with the Nine of Swords in this case. You know, I feel like with the green, I know it's like heart chakra, but for me, I feel like toxic is what I feel. It's like they're trying to stir up the pot, or, oh, guess what happened? You know, like again, gossipy. They're showing the number 4141. So that is you know, these angel numbers or messages have been coming up prominently, so I've been posting them, and then I erase them as I erase the number, because I started keeping it on my phone, keeping track of the numbers, and I will go back in my feeds to make sure, like, you know, it's coming up again. So 4141, I did post that. I believe that was Friday or Saturday that I posted. No, yesterday was 1313, so that must have been Thursday, somewhere around there. It was like last week was 41, and then it was 47, then it was 1313. So if that piques your interest or you've been seeing it, you can go onto whatever platform you're watching on this and you'll be able to see it. So High Priestess, again, going along with this, like, kind of, I feel like it's like delivery of the message, but it's toxic people. You know what I mean? They just love to feed on thrive. So there is like her getting the tarot scroll, so information. So this is like the new moon. We were talking about this. Remember they pointed that out? So 444 is now on the timer. So a lot of things revolving around the home, but information coming up here. We keep getting these messages of balance. So like I said, like April 9th with this, balance was returning into our energy, into our, you know, because there's things in our life that sometimes we cannot control, that's, you know, beyond what we do. You know, again, highlighting the crescent moon, they did highlight this. They did say that was something that's going to be significant. I would have to look at AstroSeek, but they did give us the date. It was like maybe last week or the week before's video that I put it on there, like the new moon energy. So things coming, you know what I mean? Like, you know, they're talking about like things, projects that are going on and stuff like that. So being pushed up is what they're saying, because everybody wants to enjoy their summer, which totally makes sense. But it's just like, just being patient as the information comes in. Maybe this is why you're being awakened at those times, because they're trying to deliver messages to you. So it's just like, be open to receiving. You know what I mean? Is it your social media? Is it angel numbers? You know, if someone says something, or, you know, some words come across, and you know, that was supposed to be drawn to your attention for a reason. So it's like, write it down. If you feel like things have been chaotic, they're telling you there's a time of rest and rejuvenation. Balance our emotions and being grounded. So for us, we're in Canada, so, you know, we're getting into spring. You know, we have the robins here. That is the biggest sign of spring. I was laughing to everybody, joking around, saying like, I put away my shovels like 3 times this year, and I said it keeps snowing. You know what I mean? And they're all chuckling, and it's just like, you know, the biggest tale here is when we start to see the robins. But the robins were out, and we got a snowstorm. So it's just like, you know, kind of like, again, going up with the flow, being patient. Multiple blessings. They've been mentioning that, even minor ones. You know what I mean? Like, for me, it's just like Spirit didn't have to show me how to bring down the mattress down the stairs and, you know what I mean? How to, maneuver that. It could have been way more difficult. I am that type of person. I call, like, when we move or anything like that, or an appointment or something that's coming up, I reconfirm the information. So I called, yes, you put it on this date. So I called, we were heading towards that date. It was during Easter. So, there may have been a delay or a time, or we have a bridge closure happening. So they're doing everything earlier in the morning. So she was kind enough to share that information. They are going out early in the morning. Make sure you have it out by 5 a.m. And I'm like, don't worry, it'll be out there by Monday afternoon. We were respectful enough to the fact that it's just like, we respect our neighbors. It's just like, nobody wants to look at a mattress. I know all the animals are waking up. We don't want to sit there and move the mattress and there's a herd of whatever in there. You know what I mean? So we kept it in the house. That Monday, we maneuvered it. We started moving things on the Sunday, so it's out of the way. Make it easy peasy lemon squeezy. Did a little bit of spring cleaning, dusted off the shelves because there was a bookshelf that was in the way. So it's like, we're already moving it. We're already taking all the books off. Might as well take advantage of the opportunity. Give it a nice clean, nice dusting. Let it dry. And then the next day when we moved the mattress and we put the shelf back, it was like, my son was so sweet and put everything back for me. He did a great job. It looks beautiful. So it's just like, things in that way. It's like things that we would overlook. And it's like, the more that you're appreciative of these smaller little stars coming in, the bigger ones will keep coming in. Remember, when your blessings come in, if you feel like it's delayed, it's not denied. This is Spirit saying this is going to stick. This is something that's going to last, because your mind space, your appreciation, you have changed. So, you see people, and it is hard to see that, where people are, and it's like, with ourselves, that huge change with Shane, and we were supposed to buy a house that year and stuff. Like the house we were renting, we were going to buy. I was like, let us stay over the winter. And our landlord was nice enough to say that. He didn't have to offer that. He's like, we could do rent to own. And I said, let us stay here for a year. Let's see how it goes through the winter and everything, and the spring and everything thawing out. And a beautiful neighborhood, beautiful house, you know what I mean? But that wasn't in the cards. So, and we have other spinning, you know what I mean, things to keep in mind, with the kids going to college and everything like that. So, you know what I mean? With us, it's just like, we'll probably still end up renting because, how long the kids are going to be in school and where they end up moving to, or, job opportunities, or, their partners, wants to move closer to their family, whatever that situation is. So, that way we're in distance of each other. So we are still a unit, but it's just like, I'm here, but I'm not, stepping in on your life. I'm here if you need me, kind of thing. Here we got knockings of spring, or if you're on, the northern or the southern hemisphere. I always don't want to say those words because I'm like, I'm probably going to mess it up, but it's like showing like clearing of storms. So like with us heading into spring, it's like getting those outdoor projects done. Like literally there's a bench, which is so funny. 2 houses down, which is our cop neighbor. You know what I mean? And their bench kind of flew over. So they do this nice display under the tree with a bench and everything. So, sprucing that up. But also with myself, I'm like, okay, I want to, do this on the side garden, and, I want to do this. Like I said, we're not growing a vegetable garden this year, but it's like, maybe putting some flower beds in and stuff like that. But there's other projects going on. So being mindful of that as well. Because we were like, okay, we're going to do this project. But I'm like, Spirit was kind enough to be like, hey, remember that they're redoing the windows. So no point in doing that now and worrying about that now and having that project in the forefront when that's going to happen. And when that happens, it's like, you're going to be in the way. You'll probably have to empty it. You're going to probably have to move it. So it's like, no. Well, wait, And again, we're being patient, doing it right. You know what I mean? I feel like that's where being patient is not my strong suit, but that's like, I appreciate that information because it makes sense. Why do it twice when we could do it once and do it once and right and not have to move things permanent, like they're saying. Spring is all about beginnings and renewal and rebirth and all these beautiful things. And I feel like this is where Spirit is like, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. Sometimes we get little inklings and stuff like that, some information. But again, it's just like, being patient as those things come forward, being patient as our life unfolds, You know what I mean? Not distracting yourself with the worldly things, because it's just like that will drive you crazy. You know what I mean? It's just like, look over here while we're doing this over there. Like while we're hiding this over here, because you're not paying attention to that. You know what I mean? It's so sad that they're killing people, innocents, for their own greed. And, let's not get into all that. But you know what I mean? It's just saying, like, you're about to embark this new journey. There's their mountain again, what we had with the Ace of Pentacles. We may not have all the information, but it's like being patient as that information comes to you and appreciating. So, like, with the Star card, it's like, learning to balance that whatever is coming in here, grounding yourself in this new journey. But it's like, work out on display. But I feel like it's also a sign of grounding yourself outside. I feel like going outside more. And you definitely feel that change. Like they were saying, like, go outside and take your shoes off and hug a tree. It's like laughing my butt off. But a gentle reminder of spirit, just because things get delayed. I love the money, the abundance shaking in the hand, you know what I mean? Like making it rain, like something came in here that, I like the fact that, like, the star, when they were talking about big blessings coming in, they're like blessing delayed, or, you know what I mean? Like the blessing delayed may be something that is significant. You know what I mean? Like, it's like this was all leading up to something, because the way how you carried yourself, how you know what I mean? This made, this blessing, I feel like financial, maybe that new beginning you've been waiting for. You know what I mean? Like I said, when it comes in, it's going to stick. This is not something that will just kind of like where, quote unquote, you would piss it away before, because you've learned how to handle that kind of money coming in this time. They had to lay down the foundation. They're showing the home there. Usually with the Ten of Cups, you do see like a well-balanced home. Kind of like the Star card, but in a minor way, because it's the minor arcana, but it's just saying, like, appreciate everything that you have around you. Like living beside people that would manufacture and do, the hardcore illegal drugs, where it's just lighting things at fire at 5 a.m. to where you are now. You know what I mean? Where a lot of that scarcity, a lot of that post-traumatic stress disorder has been lifted. You know what I mean? Where it's just like being on edge all the time has lifted. The things that kept you up at night. 17 on the timer. I'm not sure if that's an angel number we got before, but I'll definitely check. But also, ending with the 9 of Pentacles. Rebirth in your life. Vultures descending on you. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, oh, they got it like that. And it's like, no, truly we didn't. You know what I mean? Like, vultures descending. But now the vultures are on your side. This is where karma came into play. This is where things are now equaling themselves out. Starting off with that 2 of Swords energy, where it's like you made decisions in the past, during a highly emotional situation, and you didn't agree with them. But at the time, it's like with the information you had, that made sense. But then they showed who they were, you know what I mean? And it's like they're there to pick the bones, you know what I mean? And shake you down. And it's like how the tides have turned, how the tables have turned. Because you carried yourself the way they did. They saw that you didn't have any malice in your heart. So just keep doing what you're doing. You know what I mean? Learning those lessons, like I said. This one is going to stick. This is not something that's going to be frivolous and fizzle out. I hope you guys enjoyed this quick card pull. May the universe bless you good.